Have you ever been in the middle of a heated debate and felt that literal heat rising in your chest? Your heart races, your palms get sweaty, and suddenly, it's not about the topic anymore. It's about winning. But here's the psychological glitch. When we win an argument by crushing someone else's ego, we actually lose the war. We destroy our social capital. We turn a potential ally into a silent enemy. It's like a leaking bucket. You might be right about the facts, but your influence is draining out of the holes you just poked in the other person's pride. I am Willow, and today we are hacking the most difficult social skill on Earth. I'm going to teach you how to disagree so effectively that people will actually thank you for it. We're moving beyond straw manning and entering the world of steel manning. This is your mental armor for the digital age. Let's dive in. Coming in at number 8, we have to understand the biology of the beef. When someone disagrees with us, our brain doesn't see a difference between a verbal critique and a saber-toothed tiger. Your amygdala screams, "danger," and shuts down your prefrontal cortex, the part of you that's actually capable of logic. This is why you can't think of a good comeback until 3 hours later in the shower. To steel man an opponent, you first have to soothe their amygdala. If they feel threatened, they stop listening. You have to be the limbic whisperer. Instead of gear shifting into attack mode, you need to stay in explorer mode. Imagine your conversation partner is a puzzle, not a target. When you lower the stakes, you open their ears. Most people fail here because they want to be right more than they want to be heard. But the Clover tribe, we play the long game. We stay cool while the world stays heated. At number 7, we have to talk about the straw man trap. This is the weakest way to argue, yet everyone does it. A straw man is when you take your friend's point, twist it into a ridiculous version of itself, and then attack that version. If they say, "I think we should spend less on snacks," and you say, "Oh, so you want us to starve?" That's a straw man. It's intellectually lazy, and it makes people stop trusting you instantly. It signals that you aren't interested in the truth. You're just interested in a gotcha moment. To keep your social capital, you have to burn the straw man. You have to deal with what they actually said, not the caricature you built in your head. When you stop twisting words, you start building bridges. It's about being an honest actor in a world full of script flippers. Number 6 is where the magic happens. The steel man. This is the ultimate mind-blowing secret of high-level communicators. Steel manning is the exact opposite of straw manning. It's the practice of taking your opponent's argument and making it stronger before you respond to it. You look for the best possible version of their point, the version they wish they had the words to say. This feels counterintuitive, right? Why would you help the enemy? Because when you build a steel man, you prove 2 things. 1, that you are smart enough to understand them, and 2, that you are brave enough to face their best points. It shifts the vibe from me versus you to us versus the problem. It's like upgrading their wooden shield to a vibranium one just so you can have a fair and legendary duel. Number 5 is the practical social hack you can use tonight. It's called the Parrot protocol. Before you are allowed to disagree, you must summarize the other person's point so well that they say, "Yes, exactly. That's what I meant." This is the highest form of empathy. Most of us are just waiting for our turn to speak, but when you repeat their point back to them, without sarcasm, you deactivate their defensive walls. You are essentially saying, "I have downloaded your data correctly." This creates a psychological loop of validation. Once someone feels truly heard, their brain chemistry changes. Oxytocin replaces cortisol. They go from being an adversary to being a collaborator. Try starting with, "So if I'm hearing you right, your main concern is..." It's a simple phrase that saves friendships. Number 4 is a deep-level move. You don't have to agree with someone's logic to validate their values. Usually, people argue because they care about something: security, fairness, freedom, or family. If you can spot the positive intent behind a bad idea, you've won the social game. If someone is arguing for a rule you hate, maybe they're just trying to keep people safe. Acknowledge the safety part. Say, I totally see that you're looking out for the team's safety, and I value that so much. Now, you've signaled that you're on the same team. You're not attacking their heart, you're just discussing the map. This is how you keep your Clover tribe's status, even in a room full of people who see the world differently. It's about finding the hidden math of their emotions. Coming in at number 3, we have the humility hack. Use the magic words. I might be wrong about this, but even if you are 99% sure you're right, that 1% of doubt is your social armor. It gives the other person face. In many cultures, losing face is worse than being wrong. By admitting you're a fallible human being, you make it safe for them to be wrong too. It's a leader's move. Think about it. Who do you respect more? The person who screams they are 100% right? Or the calm person who says, based on what I've seen, this is my take, but I'm open to being corrected? One is a dictator, the other is a scientist. Be the scientist of your own life. This isn't weakness. It's the ultimate flex of intellectual confidence. Number 2 is borrowed from the world of improv comedy, the yes and technique. In an argument, we usually say yes, but the word but is a verbal eraser. It deletes everything that came before it. I hear you, but you're wrong. Ouch. Instead, try yes and. This allows you to accept their reality while adding your own data to the pile. I see your point about the budget, and I also want to make sure we don't sacrifice quality. Now both ideas exist in the same space. You aren't fighting for territory, you're expanding the map. This keeps the conversation moving forward instead of looping in a circle of, no, you're wrong. It's the difference between a car crash and a synchronized dance. And finally, the number 1 rule for disagreeing without enemies. Prioritize the connection over the conclusion. At the end of the day, Clover Tribe, the secret rule of reality is that people will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. If you win the argument but lose the friend, you've actually failed the mission. Ask yourself, is being right in this moment worth the social tax I'm about to pay? Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is say, I see we see this differently, but I really value our friendship more than this topic. That is steel manning the relationship itself. When you do this, you become unshakable. You become the person everyone wants in the room because you make the room smarter and safer. So, there you have it. Disagreeing isn't about combat, it's about steel manning the truth together. When you use these 8 steps, you're not just winning arguments. You're upgrading the collective intelligence of your tribe. You're turning every conflict into a social level up. If this helped you, hit that like button so the algorithm knows we're building a smarter world. And tell me in the comments, what's the hardest topic for you to stay calm about? I'll be down there responding. Don't forget to subscribe to join the Clover Tribe for more modern survival hacks. I'm Willow, and until next time, remember to keep your logic sharp, but your heart soft, and mind yourself. I'll see you in the next one.